It's World Consumer Rights Day. Find out about your rights as a consumer, plus how to protect yourself when doing business online. You're watching Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Stay tuned.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint. An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals. And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 15. The Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine has received an IBIS Bullet Tracks 3D system that will help in the fight against gun crimes in Jamaica. The system was handed over at the Institute's Hope Boulevard facility yesterday.
This is an important part of the government's ongoing efforts to combat illicit trafficking in firearms and ammunition that is contributing to the unacceptable high levels of crime, especially murder.
The Bullet Track system was sponsored by the Canadian government and managed by the UN Regional Center for Peace, Disarmament and Development in Latin America and the Caribbean. It will assist the Forensics Institute in capturing digital images from the surface of bullets, matching images in a database with other bullets, and collecting ballistic information from ammunition. In the meantime, National Security Minister Robert Montego says government is procuring equipment for the establishment of the DNA register.
The PS told me that she's about to sign off on a purchase order for some US $146,000 to purchase equipment and to do training so that we can establish our DNA register finally in this country.
Minister Montego says the equipment should arrive in the island within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
And by that time, the Parliament should have passed the DNA regulations so that we can begin populating the DNA registry.
Government has taken steps to give micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, access to an additional $6 billion in loans through commercial banks. Finance Minister Audley Shaw says this is as a result of a reduction in the risk weighting for commercial bank loans guaranteed by the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ's Credit Enhancement Fund.
To 20% down from 100%.
Minister Shaw was opening the budget debate in Parliament recently. He says the move is part of government's economic growth enhancing strategies, adding that $36 billion has also been freed up in the insurance industry for these entities to pursue local investment and growth projects.
The insurance companies are required to pursue local investment. This is not money to go and chase foreign exchange. It will be regulated that that money must be used for local investment and growth initiatives, and to provide details of the initiatives to the Financial Services Commission. This is one of the conditions of the relaxation of the regulatory capital requirements.
The Housing Agency of Jamaica, HAJ, will be providing registered titles to many residents of Norwood St. James in short order. That announcement came out of a recent titling education forum held in Section G of Norwood on the weekend.
In Section G, which is the big area today, there's 1,016 out of 1,073 registered titles available. The rest of the area to H, G, and J, 2,003 are available, which is almost another 1,000, and in A and B another 700.
Managing Director of the HAJ, Gary Howell, who was also at the titling forum, said there would be a titling ceremony sometime late next month. The forum had representatives from the HAJ, NHT, and National Land Agency providing residents with assistance in resolving the outstanding issues that are hindering their completion of the titling process. The residents were also assured that the HAJ was working hard to complete outstanding infrastructure works in the community. And finally, the Transport Authority and the Jamaica Constabulary Force are reporting improved compliance by motorists regarding tinting regulations since a recent crackdown on persons breaching the rules.
We have examined in excess of 3,110 vehicles, and to date 534 tint have been removed from the vehicles. Another 168 plates have been removed. What we have found is that there is improved compliance among public passenger vehicles, and that there is a lot of support for the removal of the tint by the operators. So it is being reflected in our numbers.
The Transport Authority's communication manager was addressing a recent JIS think tank. She outlined the procedure for persons whose factory tints on their vehicles breach the regulations.
The JUTC vehicles, of course, will come on board over a 12-month period, as many of their vehicles have the factory tints affixed to the windows. And this guideline in terms of the 12 months is also allowed for other vehicles that have factory tints.
Persons who fail to comply with the tinting regulations could have their license plates removed and pay a fine of $2,500. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Understand you might not always agree, but you can respect somebody else's view.
Respect my lad.
Respect my dad.
Yeah, man, respect.
It doesn't take anything to be respectful. And you can never tell the impact you will have just by saying, good morning, please, thank you.
Respect.
Minister of Finance and Public Service, the Honorable Audley Shaw, speaks about achievements under his ministry. Welcome, I'm Ian Boyne.
We are proud of the work that we have done in this first year. We have certainly stabilized the economy. We have brought things in a situation where the interest rates have continued to trend down. Not fast enough, because I still want commercial bank lending rates to go sub 10%. As I did in the first time around as minister, I brought mortgage rates under 10%. Now my new mission is to bring average commercial bank lending rates under 10%. So we haven't reached there yet. Inflation has been managed very, very carefully down. In fact, this past calendar year, 2016, we have had the lowest inflation at 1.7%. The lowest inflation since 1964. We've also have net international reserves at a pretty good clip at about $2.6 billion US dollars. Gross reserves are over $3 billion United States dollars. So we're not short of foreign exchange, and in that context, we welcome the fact that our exchange rate has stabilized over the past couple of months, and we want to invite all participants in the foreign exchange market to together let's work and keep it that way, because in keeping our exchange rate stable, it allows business to be able to plan better, to make more predictable, positive decisions for good outcomes in terms of investment and in terms of trade and so on. This requires constant monitoring, and I'm pleased that we were able to put together a working group to work along with the Bank of Jamaica to ensure that there's a flow of information and to give the assurance that A, there's no shortage of foreign exchange, and B, we have the backup arrangement with the IMF should we need to have further access to foreign exchange.
And that decision of yours has produced concrete results.
Concrete results. So we need to keep that way. Then growth has pretty much returned, not to the level we expected yet. We wanted to have 2%. We might be coming in just under 2%, but at about 1.6, 1.7% by the end of the fiscal year. Now, it is in line with our target, because we did target 1.7%. But I just was being more ambitious to expect maybe 2% growth. But what we have to do now is to continue to put in place those things that can create impulses for growth. And I'll give you a couple examples. Our now famous 1.5 plan is part of our growth plan. And it's part of our growth plan because we made a decision to move away from direct taxes to indirect taxation, because we believe that the workers on the income tax PAYE system were carrying a disproportionate burden of the taxation in the country. I mean, just about 1/4 of the working labor force, the employed labor force, was in fact participating in PAYE. So we achieved the phase 1 in July of a new threshold of $1 million, and we will be implementing phase 2 in April 1 of this year, where we'll get to 1.5 million. Some will say, well, how has this helped growth? It has. I can tell you revenue is up. To the end of December, we had exceeded our revenue targets by about $17 billion. And we expect that this buoyancy will continue through the rest of the fiscal year. Both PAYE, ironically, has grown in terms of the revenue expectations, and consumption taxes have grown. I can tell you, in the Christmas season just gone, merchants tell me it's the best Christmas season they have had in years. Why? Because we were gradually releasing $12 billion into the economy by way of transferring those funds keeping those funds into the hands of the workers. So at Christmas, they had more purchasing power, they were able to spend more, and guess what? We earned more in general consumption taxes.
Minister of Finance and the Public Service, the Honorable Arnold, talking to us about achievements under his ministry.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Up next, the Minister of Commerce outlines how the government is seeking to protect you as you do business.
Wednesday, March 15th, 2017 marks World Consumer Rights Day, which has been celebrated annually since March 15th, 1983. It provides an opportunity for the rights of all consumers to be respected and protected. Jamaica, through the Consumer Affairs Commission, the agency mandated to empower consumers, is pleased to join with the global consumer community in bringing greater awareness about the issues affecting consumers. Under the theme, Empowering Consumers in the Digital Age, the Commission will continue to highlight the challenges of operating in the digital world. Globally, electronic commerce has merged domestic and international marketplaces. Information and communication technology have changed physical boundaries and improved the ease of doing business. Locally, many consumers are now able to conduct banking activities online. However, questions still remain. 1. How to improve the quality of service? Which online services can consumers trust? What happens to the data they share online? And finally, what are the rights of consumers in relation to digital products and services? As government, we will continue to work to ensure that regulations and laws governing electronic transactions are put in place and standards are developed in areas such as disclosure, digital signatures, privacy, and content regulation. The opportunities that the digital era offers must be safeguarded against illicit operators. The government is particularly committed to the protection of the business processing outsourcing sector. In this regard, we will continue to invest in training in the areas of logistics and supply chain management. On this World Consumer Rights Day, I urge all consumers to be responsible about their conduct when using the internet, especially in minimizing the risks that new technology brings to the modern world. Happy World Consumer Rights Day, Jamaica.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original.
As consumers, you have certain rights, like the right to a refund if you've purchased an item that is defective. However, with rights come certain responsibilities, such as ensuring that you get and keep that receipt when you make purchases. Find out more about the value of that receipt in our next feature.
Serve. Be a pound of flour and a tin of mackerel there. How much, sir?
120.
120. Respect.
Yeah, my general, see you left a receipt.
John knows them thing there.
Yeah, man.
So, for this. Respect.
The law is clear. Without a receipt, there is no proof of purchase. It doesn't matter the situation or the type of item purchased. A receipt guarantees compensation in the event something goes wrong with your purchase. The Consumer Protection Act, the CPA, speaks specifically to this, the use of receipts during transactions being a duty of the vendor and the consumer. Section 20 of the Act stipulates that the receipt is your legal proof of purchase to be used in arranging a refund where needed.
Shop around, check the products thoroughly before you pay over. Ensure after you've paid that you receive a receipt.
Yes, comparative shopping cannot be overemphasized, especially in tight economic times. Customers have to ensure the quality of the product before hard-earned money is handed over. Otherwise, in some cases, you might as well be flushing those dollars down the drain. And if there is a defect, the Justice System or the Consumer Affairs Commission may not be able to help you get assistance of any sort if you do not have a receipt.
We admonish consumers to ensure at all times that you have a footing to stand on if something goes wrong. And that is why we encourage you to get a receipt once you have done any business.
But within the Jamaican shopping context, with street-side deals, corner shops, and other instances of informal selling, the use of a receipt is often abandoned. In those cases, the CAC warns the consumer is pretty much not covered, legally speaking, that is. But there are ways to resolve this.
In cases where a receipt is not available, take your receipt book with you and have the vendor sign the receipt book as a way to protect yourself.
Would you like a receipt?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Wrong move, says the authorities. According to CAC surveys, motorists often opt not to accept or request a receipt because the process is time-consuming. But motorists are implored to request receipts for petrol purchases to facilitate easy resolution if a discrepancy occurs, such as being overcharged.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Total.
Good afternoon. May I get 2090?
And may I have a receipt, please?
2019 and a receipt? Sure, no problem.
Here are the legal guidelines that constitute a valid receipt.
And that receipt should bear the name of the provider, the date on which the transaction took place, what was purchased or what service was used, the cost, and the cost attached.
The receipt could also show the vendor's contact information and description of the product, that is, the goods or services being sold. The price can either be written out or printed in numerals. Both are sometimes used in order to avoid ambiguity. And vendors, to protect your business in the event a dispute arises, keep a copy of all receipts and sign receipts if they do not bear the logo of your organization. The receipt can be valid for up to 6 years. So, to get justice in the event of a transaction gone wrong, the next time you pay for goods or services, collect your receipt.
The media landscape is awash with commercials offering a variety of loans, but consumers be cautious about these seemingly attractive deals. Loan companies sometimes practice overlending to consumers and impose excessive fees and onerous contract terms. If you are seeking a loan, try to approach reputable organizations like banks and credit unions. Consider these points before you borrow: the purpose of the loan, the terms and conditions including the type of interest and the associated processing fees, the period for repayment, and other non-interest related charges. If you think a loan offer is misleading or false, contact the Consumer Affairs Commission. Call 906-5425, 906-8568, or 906-0813. They are located at 34 Trafalgar Road, Kingston 10.
We would encourage our consumers, be careful of emails that you receive. This is probably the #1 way of viruses and malware getting on our devices. So we open an email, and the email tells us that we have a very important document here. Please download it and read it now. Without even thinking about it, download, open that document. But what I actually did was to initiate malware to actually infect the computer. A lot of times your operating system will tell you that, look, this document is not safe, or this document is about to execute a software, and it gives you the option to stop at that point. Please don't ignore these messages from your devices. The other thing I want to stress is to choose strong passwords. A lot of us reuse our password, and we use easy soft, what we call soft passwords. You know, the name of your child, your date of birth. We encourage consumers to choose passwords that are complex, include characters, numbers, and symbols in your password, and no less than 8 characters. The other precaution I'd like to have our consumers understand is that they need to install protective software. Protective software includes antivirus software. There are some free antivirus software that you need to be aware of. You have AVG, you have Avast, and you have a couple others that you can get on the internet. So it's important, if it's not already on your computer systems, to install these free devices. It's a big help, and it will prevent viruses from affecting your devices. Other precaution will be to use secure connections. This is probably the #1 way of persons accessing your private data We go to a location, we see that there's free Wi-Fi, no password is required, so we just jump on and we start WhatsApping and things like that. But you may very well have a person who make this Wi-Fi access available for nefarious reasons. They are able to access your mobile device, get all the pictures and all the documents, all the email that you have read and the downloads that you have, and they can actually copy it off your device and have it available. The next thing you know is that you get a call, or you may very well get an email telling you that, look, we have your pictures, your most private and precious pictures, and we're going to expose it if you don't give us some money. So never utilize free Wi-Fi when there's no password. If there's a password, you can always get it from the person or the organization that supplies it. Ask them for the password.
It takes so long, man. People have places to go, you know. Tell them on the urban table number.
Happy and nice. You know how much people me have to deal with before me reach here, sir? You're lucky.
Put 3 bills for number 5.
Wait. We can place the bet with you? Yeah, man. You see, when you win with we, you get a little extra. So what you say?
Police, nobody move. Illegal gambling is a criminal offense. If convicted, you could face a fine of up to $1 million or up to 18 months in prison. When gambling, choose licensed and registered gaming establishments. Stop illegal gambling now. Call Crime Stop at 311 to report illegal gambling. You don't have to give your name. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Today's show has come to an end, but the information from JIS is always at your fingertips. Visit our website at jis.gov.jm, follow us on Twitter at JIS News, or like our Facebook page. Got feedback or comments on today's show? Send us an email at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. I'm Theodore. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.